Thanks very much. So I'm going to be chatting a bit about the Northern Ireland Now Contemporary Collecting Project. That's my email there if anyone wants to get in touch, and I'm happy to answer questions at the end as well. And if anyone wants these slides to be shared, that's no problem. So here's a brief overview just to set things up. The Northern Ireland Now is a contemporary collection project that's been running from late last year, as I mentioned, up till present, and our first phase wraps up sort of February next year. But we'd be hopeful that given the success of the model that there may be scope for second phase funding. We run through the Nerve Centre and Northern Ireland Screen, and we're funded through BFI Heritage Lottery Grant. So the project involves a lot of outreach and collecting. To date, we've worked with 13 community partners all over the north of Ireland, and the outreach involves facilitating workshops, organising screenings and regional events, and being a part of festivals that showcase the community work and the contemporarily collected videos. So thus far, we've had exhibitions in as part of Real Lives, a festival in the Nerve Centre in Derry, and as part of Docs Ireland Festival in Belfast back in June. And we're hopeful to have much more future collaboration and exhibitions. So this Friday, we have a special event spotlighting Anaka Women's Collective, one of our community partners, as part of the Belfast Film Festival. We also have an event later on in the month at Foyle Film Festival, highlighting LGBT plus contemporary collecting. And we have scope to have events next year as well. So I know we're keeping it brief today, so I just wanted to again show a couple more specs on the project. So we identify contemporary video as being from the last 5 years. There is a wealth of materials in the digital film archive that is managed by Northern Ireland Screen, and it contains a lot of UTV and broadcast materials, ITV. But it also contains a lot of amateur content as well from the 1890s up to present. But there's a real dearth of contemporary materials, and there's also a real lack of representation of everybody that makes up Northern Ireland now. Hence the name of the project. Really, we are trying to focus on groups that are traditionally underrepresented, and to make them a key part of our video history by collaboratively making a new collection that will sit on the digital film archive with those groups. So as you can see here listed, these are younger voices, older voices, those that may be deaf and disabled, neurodiverse, LGBTQIA+, BAME, and refugee and asylum seekers, as well as women's groups and working class people and young men in particular. So the structure of the project then, thinking about those groups and how to engage them and make a new collection, has been to facilitate around 4 workshops per group. We're pretty flexible on how those are run and what they look like, depending on the needs of each group, but we centre around a few key issues, including kind of thinking about our place in the archive. And fantastic colleagues from NI Screen will join me in those initial workshops and showcase a look back at what's already there, but crucially also thinking about what is missing and how each of the groups come in with that as well. So we'll start to gather the videos with groups that they may have made over the last few years quite early on, and we'll have a show and tell and discuss factors around their videos, including what kind of language might be important to describe those videos, thinking about what cataloging looks like and how identity is so important in the archives. Again, doing this in a collaborative way. So pictured there is Anaka Women's Collective based in Belfast, who I mentioned earlier during one of our workshops. So we'd like to mix in some practical skills as well as thinking about archives and history and what that means. We've done simple kind of mobile filmmaking skills, 5-shot storytelling exercises, and to kind of look at what interviews and vox pops look like in the archive and how we can recreate those ourselves to hear from each of the community partners. A quick screen grab on the next slide, just for anyone who may be unfamiliar with the Digital Film Archive. This is managed by Northern Ireland Screen, as I say, and it is a great free resource available to access anywhere in the world. So I urge anyone that hasn't had a nosy on there to definitely have a look and browse the collection. And you will see that at the top there is a collections tab, and this is where our Northern Ireland Now project will sit, and the videos will be there archived for posterity. So I'll quickly show a project trailer. It's just 30 seconds, and I don't know if the sound will work, as I say, but it provides a nice snapshot of the community groups in the videos thus far. So that's a nice, colorful visual to sort of get a sense of some of the groups that we have worked with. This slide here provides a full list of them. Now I know for many not from Northern Ireland, these may not mean much, but as you can see, even from the brackets afterwards, we've tried to get a geographical spread so that the groups themselves are diverse in terms of location as well as what their group is about. And it was really important that the project incorporates rural groups as well as just city-based groups in Derry and Belfast. And part of that has been to actually go and do workshops in situ. So we facilitated stuff in really rural areas. We were in a Celtic roundhouse in Bluebell Lane in South Armagh, which was a stunning venue with no Wi-Fi to do workshops in. And that's really part of it as well, is to try and make it as accessible as possible for each group to participate and to do that in a way that suits them. So very briefly, I would love to show you loads of the videos, but we don't have time today. So here's a quick screen grab of some of the earliest videos that we collected with 3 of the first groups that participated in the project earlier on in the year. The first on the left is from Hilltown in County Down. This is from an agricultural fair, the Bully Fair, that they've reignited. It's an ancient agricultural tradition in this part of Ireland. And this is the fastest, tidiest rope pulling competition, one of the events at the fair. In the middle, then, we have a beautiful traditional Indian dance from Image Nation NI, who are an Indian heritage group based in Belfast. And our third image here, then on the right, is the Selkies. They are a women's sea shanty group. They're based in Portaferry, and this is them singing on a Viking boat as part of a maritime festival. So, as you can see, even from that very brief 3 photos, gives a real flavour of the diversity of the videos as well. And so the next phase of the project has been and continues to be to really exhibit and show off with these community groups to get them involved in having as many events and screenings as possible. So this was an early showcase in April where we talked about the project and tied it in with existing community projects that are already on the Digital Film Archive. That's myself and my colleague Brona pictured there. And we also had great success, as I mentioned, back in June at Docs Ireland Festival, where we edited together and showcased around 40 minutes of 8 of the community partners' videos. And we got them up on stage to form a panel talking about their experiences of the project. Again, so that it's led by them and that it continues to be a collaborative process of archiving. So upcoming events then, just to wrap up, would be our festival collaborations that I briefly mentioned. So we're spotlighting different community partners at these 2, and then we hope in the future to also have many of the community partners coming together again so that they can meet in person and engage with each other's video work. So the first, as I mentioned, spotlights Anaka Women's Collective, and that was really, the onus for that was in response to quite a lot of hostile, you know, protests and things that were going on in Belfast over the summer. We wanted to showcase the important work that this group, made up of women from refugee and migrant backgrounds, are doing in our city and why they're so vital. Equally, then, we wanted to spotlight some of our queer groups that have participated in the project and a lot of their protests and different videos that they submitted. And we're doing an event then as part of Foyle Film Festival that will showcase that. So I've probably talked a million miles an hour there, but I'm gonna stop sharing and I'm gonna wrap up in the interest of time. And as I say, very happy to answer questions as well.